Hey, 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 welcome to the Whistle Podcast with Coach JB and Coach Brett, your go to source for wholesome conversation, engaging interviews, and captivating player spotlights. We delve into the lives of athletes, coaches, and parents, exploring the challenges, triumphs, and lessons learned, along with politics along the way, from politics to basketball, religion to social issues. We keep it real and unfiltered. So if you're in for an entertaining and educational podcast experience, look no further than the whistle and just blow it. Our next guest for this episode is Pilin Alvarez, Mr. Miami Prep. Mr. Miami Prep. He's the owner and operator of Miami Prep preparatory school. Right now, I'm just waiting for everybody to come in. So we will be sitting here chilling for a little minute, just waiting. But while we wait, just give a little security on, a little explanation of why we're doing what we're doing. It's just basically to let everybody know, um, it's things in the game of basketball and even in sports. It's something that really it became so much of entertainment right now instead of the spirit of the game, the art of the game. That's it's being lost right now because of the entertainment side of it, and it's a lot of people don't understand from the business side of it, from the players to the coaches, well, the players and the parents, and that's one reason why we putting this podcast to work to service, the consumer in a sense, because when it come down to these parents and it come down to these kids, the parents is the one are paying these big sums of money, to be in these tournaments, to be, so that's hotels, it's a lot of plane fares, train tickets, buses, and then it goes down to the coaches. Well, the coaches are putting their time and effort to make sure that these kids experience uh, the game and the love for the game. Um, Now it's a flip side to that too. Um, it's a lot of coaches and players are out here perpetrating. They're not really into it the way they need to be into it, and we just here to not just you know got Coach Hill in the house. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Yeah, what's going on, man? This kid
Tell a little bit something about yourself.
been knowing Jerry about 5, 6 years. Me and him started in the postgraduate circuit, so we did a couple tournaments together. So been a blessing by him bringing me on to this podcast. We got some juicy topics to talk about, from college sports, to high school, the everyday life of an athlete, different things, different situations. Interviewing some highly profiled former players, current coaches, former coaches.
Yeah, the last podcast just finished. Hey man, we feel some very informative information. We had the guy on from North Florida Prep, named Coach Harris, Coach Chris Harris. He's basically alumni for Team Florida. He's from Port St. Lucie, on the way to Miami. His program is up 5 years and up and running right now. In year five, and he's doing pretty well. From the time I've been knowing him for a couple of years now, he was basically on the bottom like what we trying to do. You know what we want. You know, trying to get guys these players in pretty much on for us those who are young. You know, coming up from Port St. Lucie. Uh, and he has a good basketball background behind him as well. But it was just a struggle, man, to get those kids. And also, remember we always talk about how people have information and they don't want to give it. They don't want to give it to you. So he had to sit there and go through his trials, tribulations on just sitting there on other coaches. And because it's a competition and everything, you got people that don't want to tell you things. And you know, this on this podcast, what we need to do with this. I mean, it's all an opinion, but it's a educated opinion. Trial and error. So that's coming on. That's going a little bit. Waiting for I'm surprised we ain't got your chicken box. Bro. Hey,
Lasagna box.
hey, 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 stuff you much know.
Trying
So
to
I
trying to
see
slide over the vegan.
Memphis. And that dude was trying to get fired. I think he's trying to get fired and run with the money. He
Yeah,
got
it's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of them out there on the chopping blocks, including in Florida.
there we go.
What's
Mr.
going on, man?
Alvarez. How's it going, sir?
Good, man.
Uh, How's it going, sir?
Doing good. How about you guys?
Doing all right,
Doing
man.
pretty
Doing all
good,
right. Oh, a lot of
Coach Alvarez.
we were just talking about in the last podcast. We were talking about a guy that was named Chris Harris. He was actually from Miami, and he's coaching over at North Florida Prep.
Great guy. Great guy. We're actually, you know what, Gerald? We played him the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a wonderful job over there. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, everybody knows who his dad is. His dad is a legend down here for football,
Okay, okay,
and he's doing a great job. And we just talked last week, and we're playing him again this year. He's done a great job with that prep.
yeah. Hey, man, I know I've been knowing you since for the Miami, the Nike South Beach, man. But man, been hearing good things about you, man. I mean, you right up there, by Shaky, man. You know,
Well, I've been doing it for a long time. I'm turning 65 years old, and I want to retire and move on, and the Lord doesn't allow me, man. He wants me to
yeah,
continue to change some lives and get people involved with basketball, and provide the platform that we do, and getting them into college, and as long as He wants me to do His work, I will continue to do that.
good, that's good. So give us a little picture of who Mr. Alvarez is, man. We just let you flow, man. This your time. You know,
Well, been doing this for such a long time, right? So I've been involved for 4 decades. I've been involved in coaching and being a general manager and now owning a prep school for about 2.5 decades. Uh, it all started back with Miami Christian when I was coaching in Miami Christian, and we won 5 state championships there. We won a national championship there. It all started with JJ Barea back in the day when he came over to play for Miami Christian, which of course you guys know. JJ moved on to play in the NBA for 15 years. And then, of course, we landed the Nike contract. The first Nike contract, we landed it in 2005, Gerald. And we ran that from 2005 to 2011. Back in the day, it wasn't the EYBL. Basically, you had to play in these tournaments, and then you were chosen to play at the Peach Jam. It was a Nike All-American camp back in the day. That's when George Raveling was in charge and Don Crenshaw. I don't know if you guys remember Don Crenshaw. And so we were fortunate enough during that spurt uh, of making the Peach Jam for 6, 7 consecutive years. I remember playing the Kevin Durant's of the world, and of course we had OJ Mayo play with us in a couple tournaments. Well,
All right, prayer.
so we ran a big string there, man. We ran a big string there. During that time, we put over 100 kids at Division I programs, and so I did that. And then once I kind of had accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish in high school and also travel ball, I decided to open a platform and open a post grad school because I used to see a lot of high school kids who were very, very good, but they were done after their senior year and they had nowhere to go. So I wanted to provide a platform where a kid could come into a prep school, reclassify, right? Because the NCAA allows you to take that gap year, right? So you could go from high school to a post grad, and then it doesn't count against your eligibility. Opened Miami Prep 7 years ago, and we've been very successful. Our first class with Miami Prep, we had Norchad O'Meara that played at Arkansas State, played at Miami, took them to the Final Four, and then just signed with Baylor. He's playing at Baylor now. And of course, we had a couple. We had some other kids that went on to play Division I. So it's been great. So still doing the prep school stuff, and it's grown, man. It's grown. We have as of today, we have 57 kids in our program. And the reason why we don't have more is because of the housing.
Out.
You got to have enough house to house all these kids. So, we're excited about what we're doing now. We're excited about helping these young men, get them to college and stuff like that, and provide a platform. So that's what I've been doing, man. That's what I've been doing. Uh, Still doing it and still trying to help young men.
Yeah, man. That's a blessing, man. You're a blessing to a lot of kids, man. You were telling me last time we talked, you were saying that you was getting kids from Nicaragua and everything. I was like, man, you trying to lock down the whole South America, ain't
Well, we kind of give everybody an opportunity. We're not, we don't care if you're white, Anglo, black, Hispanic, whatever.
you?
It's about helping, all facets of life. We've kind of been involved with all kinds of kids from everywhere, and but we do kind of control that market, Gerald,
Yeah,
because we've been doing it for a long time. If it's the Caribbean, South America, Central America, those type of kids that are hungrier, right? They come from their countries and they know they have to perform and do it the right way, or else they go back. So, it's a combination of all kind of kids that we've helped.
yeah, that's definitely that's how it was. Well, I can say when me and temporaries here grew up, we knew that where we came from. I'm not saying it was like really poor like over there in South America, but you got this different type of poor over here, where it's like that was the threat. If you get this opportunity, you better go and make the best of it because if you don't, you're gonna come back home.
Yeah,
And a lot of people didn't want to come back home.
That's correct. Of course, I'm a 305 guy, so I raced myself here to 305. Went to high school at Miami High back in the day, and so I know a lot of those kids you talking about, a lot of the poverty, a lot of the kids that are local kids. That's why 305 for me it's very special. Anytime we could help a 305 kid that comes out of high school here, regardless of what race you are, we help you. We bring you in, we help you, and that's really what we're all about.
I got any questions on? Brett?
Coach, where have you seen the game change since you started to where it is now? Do you have any recruiting, any aspect? Do you feel like it's how it's changed?
Very good question. We all played basketball when we were young, and you remember when we played basketball, the medium game, the pull-up jump shot, the stuff that we did doesn't
Right.
exist anymore. Kids just want to shoot threes and finish.
Yeah.
And I think basketball has changed where that's all they want to do, either shoot a three-pointer or finish at the basket. There's a lot of great basketball out there that kids just don't understand and don't perfect. They
Mm-hmm.
don't perfect. It's a different game. They're more athletic than we were when we all played.
Mm-hmm.
Faster. They're bigger. But I mean, old school is old school, man.
Yeah.
I think to this day, back when we played and back in the 70s and 80s, it was very physical. Now you can't touch a kid.
Mm-hmm.
They allow them to play. There's a lot of spacing where back then there wasn't. So what we're trying to do at Miami Prep is we're trying to, show them, hey, the new stuff is good, but don't forget about the old school game too as well because that could help you. I love a kid that has a pull-up game.
Right.
Uh, that very rarely you find that.
Yeah.
Of course, defensively, we pull up 94 feet. We play a lot of men when college coaches come to our gym and they want to try to offer a kid a $250,000 scholarship. They want to see if a kid could defend. So
Mm-hmm.
what we do is we pick you up 94 feet. We press you. We do a lot of running jumps. So on the defensive end, where maybe they didn't defend like that before, and they're defending like that now, we try to push that part of the game as well.
I want to piggyback off what Coach Brett was saying. Um, my thing is like, in your estimation, in your opinion, when did the game change, and who you thought pushed that narrative to where it is now?
You mean when did it change?
Yeah, what changed? When did you see the change? Because it's all about evolution, right?
Correct, correct. I think it changed when Del Carey got involved in the pros, right? And when these guys, these great shooters, got involved in the game, where all they wanted to do was pull up from threes.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't, back then you shot threes if you were open, but you try to find a possession where either you got the ball on the block or you worked the ball, you had the extra pass, you were looking for the good shot. I think ever since the three-pointer came into the game, the real three-pointer came into the game, that's when it really evolved and people said, look, we'll just trade three for twos.
Right.
And I don't like trading threes for twos because if you're on with threes, you're going to win. But if you're off with threes, you lose.
Oh, got it.
So, if you're looking for a three all the time, you're going to be up and down. You're gonna be like this, up and down. I prefer to look for the good shot. I prefer to look for the deuce first. And then, hey, man, if you're open for three, take it. But it's not like you're going to, be shooting threes all the time. That's what's happening right now with young guys. Guys want to either dunk or finish at the basket or they want to shoot threes. There's no such thing as their medium game, their pull up game. That doesn't exist anymore in basketball.
Now, you, what part of the game for basketball you like to look at? You like to look at college or NBA?
I'm sorry, Jared, I didn't hear that. Again?
What part of the game you like for is college or either the NBA?
No, I'm a college guy. I'm a college guy. The NBA, you turn it on fourth quarter. If you watch an NBA game, don't spend watching the first, second, third quarter. Just turn it on with about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter because it's up and down, right? I mean, an NBA team could be up 25 points and then have a tie game. The NBA game is showtime. NBA game is showtime.
And
I love college. I love college because you got great coaches in college. Now you don't have great coaches in the NBA. They coach every possession. Every possession means a lot. Kids grow. You can see a kid as a freshman grow from a freshman to a junior and a senior. Even though nowadays they recruit just for a year before go to the NBA, those 4 year years anymore for kids don't exist anymore. To me, that's off as well. So kids get recruited and pros draft on the high ceiling, on they draft on high potential, where they see a kid 4 or 5 years from now. What happened to those kids that stayed in college for 4 years that helped their college win a lot of games and national championship? You don't see that anymore. But I still enjoyed college definitely over pros.
yeah, I like college over pro. You're definitely right. Basically, like the first quarter, whoever win the third quarter pretty much gonna win the fourth. And then if it's come down to 5 possessions, pretty much, then that's when you're gonna really get the real game of sports NBA. But what I was kind of leading to the end with that is, it seems like the NBA really just turned from, but now you can play zone. You got 3 second defensive 3 seconds. It's like the game is really turned to entertainment now. Free flowing. They call it free flowing, but it's like you only got a certain players that pretty much can make that jump shot, that make that 3 point shot, and then they talk about trying to put the 4 point play in, the 4 point play in right now. So I mean, me personally, I like the big three. I like the big three. I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
they pretty much get it in. It's almost like taking it back, like to the old days where you play half court basketball, and you get it in.
if you think about it, Jared, if you think about it, there's no more fours and fives in the NBA.
Yeah.
Back then, if you were 6'8", 6'9", excellent rebounding, you played in the post, you would play in the NBA for a long time. They're not looking for that anymore. They're looking for 6'4" to 6'9" wing that could shoot the ball. If you are a traditional four or a traditional five coming out of college or high school, you could be great, and they still might not draft you because they don't want those type of players. All they want is perimeter shooting. They want guys that are big that can put it on. That's that's what they look in the draft. They don't look for those guys, the Karl Malones, the Charles Barkleys, that were very good on the post, that were very good on the block, offensively, defensively. They don't want that. They don't want to clog the middle. They want to open the middle, and they want guys to put it on the floor and shoot. So that part of the game also diminishes well.
Mhm. We get
Coach, how do you think the girls' game has evolved?
where you see it going.
You know what? That's a good question. I think the girls have evolved tremendously. I think there's a lot of great girls basketball players, and I don't think we had those before. I mean, Caitlin Clark is something special, man.
Yeah, yeah. She
And
real,
and you
real
know,
good.
and all those other girls that are out there, the programs, of course, that you guys know about, the South Carolina girls, the LSU girls, and all these other programs that are out there that are very well coached. South Carolina coaches, man, he's one of the forget about one of the finest women's coaches, one of the finest coaches, period.
Period. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
he's special, and I think the girls' game really, really gone up. I feel bad for them though because they're not getting paid what they should be getting paid, right?
Right.
Like the NBA guys and stuff like that. But I didn't watch much college, or even pro women's game, and I started to watch now. But you can really appreciate, what these girls do, man. They're just a lot more. They're even a lot more physical. They're a lot more skilled. Men, they can shoot off the dribble. They're good off the bounce. They can finish. They got good perimeter shooting. I think girls basketball now, it's probably better than ever.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's fun to watch.
It is
Fun.
fun.
It's very fun to watch.
It is fun to watch. Absolutely, 100%.
The young girl that plays out there at USC, I forget her name. Man, she is good.
Oh, G. Oh,
What's her name, Kevin? I don't remember her
Juju.
name. But she's
Juju Watkins.
she's exceptionally good. The girl
Yeah,
at
Juju.
USC. She was a
Yeah, Juju
freshman
Watkins.
last year.
What the
Yeah.
name was? Phil?
Juju Watkins.
Yeah. Man, that girl right there. Whew. She's gonna be a good one. She's gonna be a good one. For sure.
A lot of great coaches too, man. A lot of great coaches out there, especially women coaching.
I agree.
A lot of women coaching out there.
I agree. I agree.
Most of them are point guard, former point guards.
What's that?
Becky Hammond. Becky Hammond was a former point guard.
That's right.
Teresa Witherspoon. She was a former point guard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, Kevin. You're right. You're right. Coach, what can you tell people a little bit about, such as yourself being in Miami so long? What could you tell people a little bit about Shaky Rodriguez?
That's my brother, man.
Yeah.
I was with him the day before he died. I was with him before the day he died, and he,
Wow. Yeah.
when I played at Miami High, 75, 76, I was 15 years old. Shaky was at 19, 4 years older than I am,
Right.
was the assistant coach. And that's when he started his basketball. Nobody did it better than Shaky. Nobody did it Shaky. What did he win? 5 state championships.
Right.
And high rank at number 2 in the USA Today.
Mm-hmm.
And he welcomed everybody. Shaky was loved by the entire community down here in Miami.
Right.
White, black, Hispanic, whatever you want to call it. He was loved. He had great players, man. I don't think you guys remember. He had Doug Edwards back in the day, and he had also actually all the Edwards brothers played for him. And he had Jose Ramos, and he had
Cesar Batilio.
Cesar Portillo. He had he had. I remember he used to take on those football players at Miami, just kind of played them up and played basketball. People don't understand that Andre Johnson, that's in the Hall of Fame football. I'm sorry, that played in the NFL for so many years. He played for Shaky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ed Urban back in the day was a hell of a runner. Central High School, I believe. He played for Shaky. Jamal Martinez that went on to play for Kentucky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Played for Shaky. There's so many people that played for him. He's a legend, man. He's always the number 1 guy down here in Miami and actually in South Florida.
Yeah. Remember Lonnie Johnson played for them.
We miss him. I'm trying to take his son under my wing, Eric Rodriguez, that's been coaching. Actually, I sent him to Puerto Rico not too long ago when he actually was the assistant to John Sally, NBA John Sally in Puerto Rico for Club Quebradillas. They made it to the elite, the Final Four, and he's just like his dad. He's a hell of a coach. He's not, he wants to be just like his dad. He wants to follow his dad's footsteps. He's very good as well. But yeah, man, we miss Shaky. Like you have no idea. Shaky was like a mentor to me. He was a little older than I was, and he was like a mentor to me. We were best friends. I mean, like I said, I was with him the day before he died, and it was just terrible. It was one of those things that you don't expect, but things happen.
Things happen, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got anything, Kill?
Yes, Coach Alvarez. How's the transfer protocol? How's the transfer portal transition to the high school? Because it's a big issue in Orlando with it's totally different from basketball. It's football. It was a big thing in the paper about 30 transfers from different schools transferring into one school, and the schools were protesting it, and now they sitting at 3-0. They average wins of games besides one game being on 21 points per game. So I know it goes on during high school basketball because I've seen schools like First Academy and
Lost them.
That's, I guess if we could talk about that before he gets on the air, the transfer portal has changed everything, man. From the high school, we haven't really seen it down here from a basketball perspective. I think they just voted in that Florida, I believe, could now use transfer portal money. But in college, it's incredible. It's just incredible. Our kid that I was telling you about, Norchet O'Meara, when he left Arkansas State and we put him in the transfer portal, he was like the top 3 transfer portal kid. And he had like 53 offers. And he came to Miami. And when he came to Miami, the transfer portal money was there. And, he took advantage of that and then went to Miami. Then he could have gone to the NBA this year. He had an opportunity to go back into the transfer portal. That played a big role as well. And he now signed with Scott Drew at Baylor. And so the transfer portal is dictating a lot of stuff, guys. I mean, I don't think kids go there just for the money. I think they want to go there where they feel they're going to fit in. They want to go where they think, they feel they can get back to the Final Four, or they feel the coaches could help them to get to the NBA and stuff like that. But, back in the days, there was no money. You truly went to the school because you felt that was the right thing. But for me to tell you that the money doesn't sway a lot of these kids, I'll be lying. Money is money. Money's going to sway anybody.
Right.
And so that's kind of like, an iffy situation. I think that's the reason why a lot of coaches in football and basketball, they're leaving because, they can't recruit against money. So, if you're recruiting, you're recruiting somebody and you happen to have no NIL money, or let's say you happen to have a little NIL money and somebody comes along that's pretty much the same level and offers money, that's going to sway the kid.
Mhm. Coach, without the transfer portal, would Norche, do you think he would have left Miami?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. When Norton came out of Miami, it was during the the pandemic, and he wasn't able to go and visit school, so he wound up going to Arkansas State. Um, it was bigger than Arkansas, but they didn't know him. He had just come back to Nick when he was the player ever from one. But I told him, I said, look, go to Arkansas mid major and do well with conference player of the year. He's player of the year,
Right.
average a double double in the transfer portal. He came to Miami, and then he played in Miami for 2 years. His first year he took to the Final Four, had a great year. He averaged a double, and then last year, after a good year, there was a lot of injuries, but he finished 17-10 in the ACC. So I mean, this is a dude that for 4 years of college has averaged double double. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to come back to Miami. We wanted to come back to Miami, and it just didn't work out. We're thinking about just turning pro, and we talked about it with his family and himself, and he said, "Look, I have one more year of eligibility. Let's go out there and go again in the portal." And and he did. Um, he's going to a great program. Scott Drew is a great coach out in Waco. They won the national championship a couple years ago. Every
Right.
year he would be hits in the NBA, and it was just a good fit. But it was a nip and tuck. He wasn't too sure what he wanted to do. Of course, I wanted to keep him down here in Miami because I would go and see him all the time. But sometimes you got to do what's best for the kid.
Of
And
course. Yeah.
day of age, day and age, kids look at this. They look at the program, NIL stuff. They look where they fit in. Look at all that stuff. We feel he's going to do great at Baylor. Their preseason rank 5. Of course, they play in the Big 12 conference. That's a great conference. You look at the
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
top 5,
yeah.
4 to the 5 teams in the Big 12 in the ranking are all Big 12 kids. Kansas, Houston, Iowa State, Baylor. Those are all programs in the top 5.
Yeah. That's true.
And come tournament time, they always get at least 8 to 10 teams in the tournament. So
That's a good point. They do.
they
They do.
they well represented in the tournament every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the ACC was the best conference. ACC conference is still very good, but if you look top to bottom, that Big 12, I mean, that's tough.
Yeah, it is.
Conference is very tough.
Besides the Big East.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Besides the Big East.
Big East is good too. I mean, there's great teams around the country. That Big 12 conference looks good too. I mean, I think basketball this year is going to be probably as competitive as ever.
Yeah, with Calipari going to Arkansas.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Well, he was real fortunate to be around some really good coaches too. Arkansas State to Miami, and now there with Coach Drew. So he's had some really good coaches
Great
too,
point. Great point. Yeah, they've helped him a lot.
such as yourself as being a mentor. I mean, he's had a lot of great guidance for
Thank
sure,
Thank
for
you.
sure.
He has. He really has, and he's such a humble young man that he understands that. He appreciates that.
Yeah,
He understands, who's helped him along the way. He's a Christian dude, so he's very blessed. He reads the Bible. He gives back to the church 10% of what he makes. I mean, on a regular
wow.
basis.
Okay.
The guy that's really blessed from a great family. So
And he's gonna make a huge impact from where he's from too.
yes,
I, for sure. That's
yeah,
what it's about too, for
yeah.
sure.
No, I agree. Think, uh, they play against Connecticut, UConn this year. They play in all the Big 12 games. It's going to be interesting how he does. I was there on a visit with him, and you
Yeah.
should see the facility that they built in Waco, Texas. It's one of the finest facilities. They're going to be able to play it for the first this year. So they built the whole thing. So yeah, this guy does a really good job out there. Interesting to see what happens this.
Coach
How are you
Alvarez,
guys? How are you guys looking this season, Coach? Coming up with your program?
We're looking real good. So we decided we're going to have 3 teams. We're going to have our elite team, um, really good. We're going to have a full team, with just a tad under, and then we're going to have a white team, color white. That's more. They're good, but they're going to be more of a developmental squad. You know,
Okay.
our elite team is very good. I want to say we have about 7 kids that are being looked at and recruited by Division I programs right. We're gonna head out to New York here. We played last. Those great New York, the Pack School, our Savior Lutheran, all those great teams that we played in New York. We were very fortunate to go out there and beat 4 great New York teams. So we're going out there again, and so play the Montverdes of the world and the other worlds. just a matter of exposure, the platform where they can be recruited. So kids are going to be good. We got college coaches in the building, which is always great to see our kids play and all that other stuff. But we're going to be pretty good.
Good deal. Jay, you
Coach,
got anything?
Coach, let me ask you a question. Piggyback off of the transfer protocol. Do you feel that it is fair with the transfer protocol that these coaches are only getting 2 to 3 years to fix the situation of the current school that they're coaching at?
No, to me, it's not fair. I think there's a lot of great coaches out there that are not
Great question.
even field. No, it's not. It's not. It's money. Whoever has a lot of transfer portal money, it's going to sway a lot of these. Everything's even, guys, between two schools, and money plays a role. I'm going to chase that. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm telling you the majority of the kids will do that. So it's not fair where a school that has a very good coach that maybe doesn't have a lot of NIL money to be able to compete against other schools that have a lot of NIL. I don't think it's fair. I think that's the reason why a lot of coaches are leaving the game because they see it. If it was back in the old days where there was no NIL money and it was recruiting and base, where do you go? Where do you play? Who's recruiting you? That wasn't even though a lot of this stuff was also going right. It was going under with a lot of brown back in the day.
Yeah, it's about 100
Get,
stuff.
get money, but it was talked about.
Yeah.
But now that it's out in the open, it makes it difficult where it's fair, across the line. It's not fair. I mean, it's a situation where now, there's programs that want to compete and they just can't compete because they can't get top recruits. Because, like I said, if everything is even, and there's a program that's willing to give you some NIL money, that kind of puts the cherry on top. So that's the only thing that I, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. NIL money, it is NIL money, but I can't sit here and tell you that it is fair because it's not fair.
I was listening to an interview last year with Johnny Dawkins at UCF. And when I think he said when he first came to UCF, this was still sort of all new. And now to how long he's been there to when he came to where he is now, that they have literally had to bring people on staff to follow their current players.
Wow.
Because the team that they currently have, there's a good chance that a lot of those kids, or maybe half of them, won't be back there next year. And he says he has to cover every angle. He says it's a lot different than it used to be, for sure.
Yeah, other schools trying to steal them, trying to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that happen. I mean, if you look at it every year, most of the good players that are mid-major players or low D1 are jumping up in classification to that.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's not the same, right? Back in the day where we be involved either travel level or high school level, and kids you were trying to help. It's just a matter you went on a recruiting trip and you signed with the school that you thought that was the better school, and there was no money on the table. There was nothing like that. So yeah, man, it has changed tremendously.
So let me ask you this, to piggyback off what you said, and add on to a little bit with to extend a little bit what you're saying, Coach Alvarez. So now that the NIL is coming out on the high school scene, do you think it's going to hurt AAU basketball or help AAU basketball?
I don't. Very good question, by the way. I don't know how much money are we talking about. How much money will some of these A high school program will have that would maybe, dictate where a kid's can't. It would be a lot of money um, for high school kids. But then again, you never know, right? But at the end of the day, and again, I'm talking, let's say we talked about Miami, or we talked about Miami, Broward, and the Palm Beach. Um, there's, of course, there's the Boozer brothers down here at Columbus High School. And there's a couple other kids, I would say probably in Miami, it's probably 4 or 5 high major Division One basketball players, right? There's not as many as it used to be before. South Florida basketball has gone down for. I don't know how it looks in Orlando. I don't know how it looks in the state of Florida. But I
It
can
kind of dipped in Orlando a little bit. It
okay.
kind of has dipped in Orlando.
So like an example, the Boozer Brothers. The Boozer Brothers, they're fine. Their families are well off. I don't see, in their opinion, NIL money, swinging one way or the other. Their top basketball player, especially the big brother. What does he have? He has Duke. He has he's the number 2 player ranked in the country. I think his particular case, he's going to go where he get into the league. I don't think money him. It's not swinging him in Columbus. He's in Columbus because Columbus is giving money. Columbus is a very good school. It's a private school. It's one of the top schools here. He's there because of his academics. He's also there because he's a very good basketball player, like his brother, that's the point guard on the team. But those are the top 2 kids down here that are high major. Everybody else is pretty much, you know, either a low Division One basketball player or a Division 2 kid. Which, of course, nowadays that if you're not a top 50 player, they're not going to recruit you. That's the thing that's changed about basketball down here, guys. If you're not a top 50 or top 30 high school kids, they're not going to come and offer you a scholarship. What are they going to do? They're going to go straight into the transfer portal. If you
Yep.
were a coach, you needed to win right away. Okay, like you guys were saying earlier. Are you going to take a gamble on a kid that you might have to redshirt, or are you going into the transfer portal and go with a kid that's been there and done that, that's
Right.
done a year, 2 years, that has numbers, and then you happen to be you have a year, 2 years to win? You're going to do that. You're not going to take a risk on a high school kid. So to me, if you're not a top 50 player in the country, or let's say top 75, it's going to be hard for you to be recruited like people used to recruit top 150, top 200 players before, because college had 5 to give. Nowadays, give a high school kid a scholarship, and they'll get 4 kids from the transfer portal. So that's one way that, or the dynamic change in recruiting high school kids.
So how you think that that's going to affect the JUCO scene?
Well, I think what kids are doing, Gerald, it's another very good question. I think kids are either going post grad 1 year or going JUCO for 2 years to buy time and to be seasoned enough where maybe then a college coach would say, "We'll take a look at a JUCO kid that's done really good, at the junior college level, and say, well, he's a little bit more experienced than a high school kid. I prefer to give that kid a scholarship
Correct.
than
Yeah.
give a 17-year-old a scholarship when you're now giving a 20-year-old a scholarship because he's done really well at college level." So, and those are the kids that are getting lost. There's a lot of kids. That's why the post grad comes into the picture. A good junior college comes into the picture, because if not, then their basketball careers will be over because they have nowhere to go, because they're good. Look how many kids we know that graduate from high school that are very, very good, and they have nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. Mhm.
So
That's
that
happening on the regular.
yeah, that's what I feel bad, because there's a lot of talent. They're just being, they're being skipped. They're being not looked at because college coaches have all these pressure games, What did they have the other day? I think last summer there was 1,700 kids in the transfer portal. All, by the way, all three-quarters of those kids were double figures, and they were, by the way. So it's tough.
Hmm.
I was always wondering, like the state of the game in the United States. But like you say, the last I looked, and it was a couple years ago, you got over 21 million kids trying to get a scholarship, and obviously, it's only what 480 jobs in the league. So that's what make the NBA elite. But then at the same time, I always thought when the CBA was cut out, that was another avenue for guys that might get lost in the sauce, like you're saying right now. Um, because you got the G League, but that's pretty much. I mean, the CBA was connected to the NBA, but at the same time, it was kind of its own entity
Right.
at the time. So it's still controlled. The G League is still controlled by the NBA, and then you got the nepotism that's going to happen with that. Um, but then now you have overseas the international people. They're not scared of us no more.
Right.
You know, and their game is rising very very fast because those kids they've been pros since 13, 15 years old.
That's right.
So basically, I'm saying the American game, especially for the mal, I feel like there's a lot of malpractice when it comes to training. You know, a lot of people just doing this stuff to get the money. And like I say, this platform is here to put it out there. You know, and we're gonna get upset or whatever like that. But end of the day, it's the truth. Um, so I think that for the American game, the international is definitely catching up. But I think we're doing our kids and the people here a disservice how they going about the game. Because if you look at Canada, Canada got a structure out of this world, you know. And I just look at it like me and Kel was, we used to talk about that, and saying how the state of the game is. So what do you think, based off what I'm saying? What's your opinion?
Those are very good points, Cheryl. I mean, I think we play more games than we practice. I mean, look at the circuit back in the day when we were all involved with the circuit. You know, shoot, I remember the one year we had OJ Mayo, and I remember that on one Saturday we played at 9, 11, 4, 7, and midnight at an AU tournament. And then the finals, then the semifinals were at 9, and then the finals were 11. That's just talking about the travel circuit. But even if you're in high school or you're practicing high school or travel ball or whatever, you play so many games that you really don't have the time to travel. International people will practice 5 days and will play one game. In other words, they'll go Monday through Friday, practice a lot of skill work. A lot of our kids are not skilled, man. Again, all they want to do is dunk, shoot threes. They're not skilled. They don't know how to go left. They don't know how to go right. They don't know how to pull up. That part of it is finished. So now it's about playing, 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 and not enough skill work and not enough practice. I think that's why the international market is 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 basically catching up. Because if you take a look at those guys just know how to play, and they're very skilled. I mean, I still think the American game is the best in the world. Okay, it's going to be hard for them to surpass us. I really believe that. But they just practice more than they play. And
They
us,
coming.
the mentality of the high school coaches, the mentality of the travel circuit, the mentality of all that stuff, it's really all about playing. I mean, how many times did we practice travel ball when you had a team and you had kids coming from down south or down north, want to put them all together to go to a tournament in a weekend, and all you could do is bring them in on a Thursday and practice, and then get on a plane on Friday to go to a tournament. How
Hmm.
many times did that happen? You know,
Yeah.
so it's just I just think we need to play less, and we need to practice more and show more and develop these kids' skills more, um, to really
And
do it the right way.
and to really piggyback off this, because I was always like explaining to people about people talk about the primes and the primes that you have. I feel like when they get to the pros, you basically getting the finished product, obviously, but you getting these guys are a little bit older than their age for as the game. I feel like your prime is when you just not coming up in the game from uh little league all the way up to college. I feel like those are your best years. And then when you get to the pros, okay, depending on how long you know what your contract would be, because at first it was 7 years before they changed the CBA, and it's a whole nother story too. We're gonna talk about that. But it's like you sign a 5 year contract now, and usually because of the situation and being guaranteed, you got guys just fall back and kind of preserve themselves in a situation throughout their contract. But I just feel like the prime years of the years are coming up when you coming up in the game. For his injuries, like say like with prime example, Derrick Rose. I just think he didn't get hurt per se as far as playing in the pros or playing pro ball. It's like his training methods, and stuff like that. And a lot of games you played from middle school, high school, AAU, college. You know what I'm saying? And then you get to the pros, then you play in an 82 game season.
They get burned out.
Get burnt out.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but he didn't change his game up. He didn't change his game up. For a period of time until he got hurt. Till he
Yeah.
wasn't able to be that explosive guard no more. That's when he started working on his jump shot. He started doing other things in the side of the game of basketball. But before then, he would just blow right by you, go to the hole, and two-handed, one-handed, and go the other way. You couldn't really stay in front of him. So it
Yeah.
took those couple of knee injuries to really make him say, if I'm gonna stay in the league, I need to change up my game. And that's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he did. And he ended up playing like 15, 16 years.
Yeah, he had to change his game. He developed more of a pull-up game. He wasn't the guy that would take the ball to the basket. Look what happened to Dwayne Wade.
Same
He
thing.
he
Yeah.
had to also change his game because everything he got was taking to the hole, and he would get hurt. And most of these guys who get injured or pretty much are burned out, they do. You're right. They do change their game. They go more to a medium game, drive as much. They just want to stay in the league. They want to stay in the league. But yeah, they did adapt their game a lot. They did adapt their game a lot. And you're talking about two of the best guards that ever played. I mean, I feel bad for Rose, man. If he would have got hurt, he would have gone down as one of the best players ever to play in the NBA. But yeah, you're right about that. A lot of these players, they have to adjust to their game. They can't be going to the rack all the time, 12 years, and getting fouled and getting hit and stuff like that.
Coach, what's your opinion on the trainers nowadays, training all these kids compared to where we grew up? We didn't have any of that.
Right.
I think trainers, with all due respect, it's an excellent
You had to
question.
have money.
It's an excellent question. I think there are good trainers out there, but I also think there's a lot of trainers out there that are in it for the money
For the money, right?
and really, really are not good trainers. I mean, did any of us in this panel train with a tennis ball that you
No.
would throw against a wall and get it and dribble with the other hand? But they're saying that that's great for eye coordination. Well, that's not going to help score, right? That's not going to help you certain things. I think a lot of this stuff, the cones thing, they're good. Some of the stuff is not. It's not that it's bad. I just think it's overrated. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not like you kids nowadays need that, but they have to come up with something to quantify them charging how long you could have them in a and all that else. Again, a lot of respect to a lot of the great trainers. There's still very good trainers out there. I just think that there's just too many now. Like
Right.
you
Yeah.
get a card and say you're a trainer and they go to a gym and okay, put up so many shots. Okay, go around this chair, use the tennis ball, use this. And that's where I feel that a lot of our kids are not proper.
Yeah, I
Well,
got
the creativity of the
a
game
real
has
handy.
gone away.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I played against him, and he played when I was overseas over there in England. He played for the Manchester Giants, and actually, Nick Nurse was the coach then. That's crazy. And he wound up playing them in the championship game for the in the Budweiser League. I was playing in the Budweiser League. Yeah, and I be checking him out, man. You know, yeah, see his training makes sense. So you gotta have trainers that do things like game time stuff. That you'll see in the game, and a lot of his stuff is reactive. So and he teaches the ball. All of us supposed to be taught that the ball is a part of you, and I see he's very meticulous with that. So I just want to know how you felt about that
I mean, I think that the trainers that are good practice game situations.
game situation.
You
Exactly.
know, it's better to train game situations than to train a tennis ball against a wall. Do things that are going to help you get open. Do things that are going to help you implement parts of your games that you need to improve on. And you get that through game situations. You get that through learning how to get better every day. Um, to me, that's the best training that's out there.
That's funny that you said that, right? Uh, and I'm at a point where I can admit that. Sometimes people don't want to admit, but you can become a great ball player, a good ball player, but sometimes you don't want to admit that you made mistakes or admit that you didn't know this at this time or whatever. But I was in training camp with Richard Dumas at Derby, England, and he came in and he was like, "Man, that's Richard Dumas, man. That's who he gave the Bulls 40 that game.
Played with
He
Phoenix
had a
with
pretty
Charles.
good series. I always heard that he was alcoholic and all that stuff like that. But it's like he came in and we did this drill where you got to get open, get open. So a lot of times we show the guys how to get open, but they don't. You got to put your body into the guy and then hold your hand out and basically throw the ball to the hand, right? And once you catch it, you swing it into it, right? So I was basically going into the guy, but I wasn't popping out. So he said, young fella, what you doing? What you doing?" And he just said, "Well, hey, step to the side." So what he did, the guy, how he did it, he put this right here, right in his chest, right here, right up on his neck, right? And then he hit him. And when he went, so basically he used the guy, um, his momentum against him. And he basically, instead of going straight out to the wing, he pushed him into the inside. And then when he popped out, he was at the 3-point line. And I was like, wow. And I was like, wow. And like from that point, that's all I've done ever since then. So it's like, I look at a lot of guys. What's the guy who used to play for the Lakers back in the day? He played for uh the uh the Tar Heels. Um
James Worthy.
no, not James Worthy. He came before them.
AC Green.
Um dang, I just had his
What
name.
play? What position he played?
He played small forward.
What
Oh, you talking
period
about
of
on
time,
Perkins?
Jay? When?
Perkins.
This time he was there with Phil Ford.
Oh,
Michael Herron. No, Michael Herron.
McAdory.
No, no. Steve. His name is Steven something. Stevie something. But he was there playing. He was when I got there. He was about what 48, 49 years old, still playing.
Michael Thompson?
No, not Thompson. You almost close. You almost close. But he was playing for London Tower, and he was out there looking like George Jefferson, but he was killing. So he was like, so say overseas you can play a lot. You can play minimum games. You play minimum games. You don't play a lot of games. Like during the week, like say like the NBA, you have these 2 week stretches or whatever like that, or you playing every other night. You only playing one game a week, and then you practice 6 days a week. So it's almost like a situation where you preserving yourself to a degree. But yeah, we have some difficulties a little bit here. But,
We lose him?
but yeah, man. Yeah, he still here. He just probably I like it was a lot of static and stuff. I got somebody listening to. Okay, man, what's good, bro? What's good, man? What we gonna do?
Everything's set in place.
Yeah, we do the cash games what I was talking about, Brett.
Yeah.
Supposed to be on to Clueless the next week.
Oh, Kevin, did Jordan ever call you back?
Jordan,
Jordan Smith, the kid out of Palmetto, Bradenton, I told you about.
no.
All right, I'll hit him again if you need. So, how many guys are y'all looking for?
We're only taking 9 down now.
Well, how
Sorry
many?
about that.
Okay,
Hey, Brett, I got a question for you.
sir.
You and I share the last name. Are we related?
I wonder you go.
you,
Let
I,
me ask something. Do you have
coach, I was waiting on that one.
background?
I was waiting on that. Well, my father, he's a Spaniard from Spain.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's his last name.
correct. Yes, sir.
Good.
And my mother is from Pennsylvania.
Gotcha. But there's no Spanish in you, is it? Well, there is. You got some of that Spaniard blood in you.
Spaniard blood. And then my wife of 20 years is Peruvian.
Oh, okay.
I have a Peruvian wife.
So you must speak a little Spanish then.
Just a little, coach.
Yeah.
You will never know that if you want to say it there,
Hey,
Coach.
Brett's
Never
probably
know
knows a
that.
lot of Spanish, but he goes around telling people he doesn't just to make sure people don't talk bad about him. I know a lot of friends of mine that are like that.
But I will tell you this. My wife I've been blessed. She's a hell of a cook.
Oh, yeah.
So if you've never had any Peruvian food, coach, try to get some.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty good. Pretty good.
We have
I'm gonna pick that up.
a
And
couple.
believe me, when we visit Miami, coach, that's one thing I love about Miami. The different cultures of food. You
Oh,
can't
yeah.
go wrong. It's amazing. You can't go wrong.
You got Peruvian people make great ceviche.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
their national dish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
Have you
that's
had
their.
ceviche?
Woo,
Carol, and have you guys had some? That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Right, Brett. You come to Miami, you probably could go to 10 or 15 different restaurants from different culture and eat
Yeah,
food.
it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You could have something different 7 days a week from just a different country.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's so awesome about Miami.
It is.
There is my wife, there's a Cuban restaurant. Okay, now bear with me, coach, because I know that you're Cuban.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They started off really small, but then from what I was told, they've kind of expanded. But over by Star Island, where the boat,
Yeah. I was
where the
just
boat,
down there. I was
it,
just down there on a month ago.
Yeah. There is, Brett, about 15 different chains of restaurant Cuban food down here. And you can't go wrong, especially if you like rice and beans, right?
yeah,
But yeah, there's so many of them like Arreta, Versailles. There's so many of them, and you can't go wrong. If you got all three of you are ever down here in Miami, please hit me up because I want to take you probably to the best one. It's called El Riconcito. The restaurant. It's my treat. I would love to take you three guys with me, and so you could really eat well there. I mean that is some really good food there. I mean,
coach. This particular place we were at, it was off of 120 something street and 80 something street. I just know numbers.
yeah,
And
yeah. I think
when
it's.
we walked in there,
Hmm.
it was really interesting because what I thought was pretty, being married to my wife for 20 years, a Peruvian lady, the kitchen was all open air. So you could see, you walked in through the one door and you go in, and to the right, everything was open. So you could see them making all the food back in the kitchen.
Right. Fresh right there in front of you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right there. Right
Wow.
there. And then on the left side, they made these different kind of Cuban drinks where
Oh,
they had a machine there.
el mojito.
Yes. I think, yeah,
Oh,
that's,
oh,
they
oh,
had
my God.
sugar cane. They had, oh
Right.
man, they had
Mojito.
all kinds of different flavors. The sugar cane one, I must have wanted to have 4 or 5 of them before I waited on my food. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want
Yeah.
to guys next time you guys come down here to my and we could
Hey,
go
coach.
and then we
You know,
could
I got, I got a, I got to press you on this one, man, because I don't forget. And when my size 13's at, man? What's up?
that's right. Right. We can get you here. Well,
What's up?
I
Hey,
got
that bitch
I
is
got one
18,
better,
man.
Gerald. I got one better for you because I know how much you like your Cuban cigars. When
Thank
you guys come
you.
down here
That's
to have
good.
dinner, I'm going to take you the best place that you can smoke originals,
Thank
not Dominicans, original Cuban cigar.
you. Okay.
There's one here that it's beautiful. You go in here, you can have a drink, you can smoke a cigar. There's a lot of people there. You can play domino, play a whole bunch of different stuff, and those cigars, the ones that are here's the thing, Gerald, the ones that are dipped in rum, not the
Mm-hmm.
cigars that you smoke that are not. I'm talking about the ones they dip in rum and you smoke them. So you'll smoke one and you'll get a real nice buzz.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what he just did, right? You know what he just did, right? He just wiggled and pooted me just then, man.
Yeah.
he
Wiggled
switched he
just then.
switched it up on you, Gerald?
He a good negotiator, man. That's why he who he is. Hey, I feel sorry for the I mean, you got a lovely family, man. I know he had to do, he put his little trick on his thing, you know what I mean, to get that wife he has, man. So he got that style, bro. He got that style now. Hey, we call him the Puerto Rican what you call it? He called the Puerto Rican John Gotti. Don't he look like John Gotti? Hey, take the hat off, coach. See, don't he look like John Gotti?
Well,
Man,
if
listen, man, he's
hey,
good people, man. Good people, bro.
if you look at my Facebook, whatever, of course, I gotta have the perfect hair. I don't have it today. I've been resting the whole time. So anytime I don't have the perfect hair, I put the cap on.
Oh yeah, you
Right?
would have first on us. I see you.
And then when I got the perfect hair going on, then
Man,
I'm
I don't
always
care.
I'm always styling.
Yeah, man. This is very informative, man. And this is what we're gonna continue to do, man. So anytime you want to come on, man, just
Listen,
holler at me.
listen, I would really listen. I would really love to invite all you three to come one day. If you want to spend a night, we'll get you a place to spend a night. Come down here, take a look at our facility, look at our practice, see what we do, so you can really have a really good idea. And we'll go out into town and we'll go to a nice restaurant. We'll smoke, a good Cuban cigar, and we'll just hang out and have a good time. Really, I mean it. I mean we're here. We practice in the morning. We practice at night. We have now Miami Prep, but I also run a high school. It's called ABS Academy High School. So Miami's Miami. Nothing. We're not going to do anything wild. We're just gonna have a good dinner, smoke a good Cuban cigar, and continue to talk what we like to do, and that's the game of basketball. So anytime you guys,
Sure,
all three of you
sure.
guys want to come on down, let me know, and it'll be my right.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Hey,
Thank you, Coach.
me and my guy here, Kara, man, we going down to. We'll be down there in hopefully we can
January.
earlier than that, but we definitely be down there in what, February, January,
Now, January, Martin Luther King weekend,
Martin Luther King weekend. Playing a little tournament. What's the name of the tournament?
right there in Boynton Beach.
Boys and Beat. What's $10,000? $10,000 tournament
Yeah,
or 15?
Where's the tournament at?
Yeah.
Boynton Beach.
Oh, Boynton Beach. Yeah, Boynton Beach is about an hour and a half from where we're at.
Right.
Okay.
Coach,
Well,
Coach, I got a question for you. Why do you think basketball hasn't caught on in Cuba like it has in the other Caribbean countries?
Communist.
Just the political
Yeah,
issue.
I would love to go back to my homeland and bring talent there, but I can't, Brett,
Yeah, I know.
because they're not allowed to leave the country.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
uh,
dang, it's
great,
like that.
great basketball player. Never brought a Cuban kid, and they're great players, but because they're not allowed to leave Cuba, it's the Communist Party, which is the worst thing in the world, will not allow a kid. Now, if you want to get on a boat and risk your life, like a lot of them do, and go 90 miles across, which some of them make them, some of them get eaten by sharks, some of
Some
them,
don't. Right.
but legally, they can't get on a flight.
Mm.
Yeah.
So the one
That's
out
it's
there,
amazing.
man, hell with it, I'm gonna go and try my luck. They don't try to go after them.
You guys being American, you guys can go to Cuba without any problems, but I can't.
Right.
But you guys can. But I,
Right.
even though I was born April of 1960, guys, and I came on a Pan Am flight June 1960. So I left Cuba when I was 2 months old. I don't
Oh,
speak
Wow.
you
much.
oh my
I
God.
came back to my home because of the Communist Party. So because I was born in the 60s, I'm not allowed to go back. Uh,
Uh,
my wife, that's Puerto Rican, she
okay.
can go and visit, but I can't go and visit.
Right.
Kind of shut it down for Americans that
Man.
were born there but raised here,
Uh,
going back to Cuba.
Do you
okay.
still have family over there?
I have an aunt. I have an uncle. My mom and dad passed away. We came from Cuba when we were very, very young. Came from Cuba in 1960.
Oh, that's
But I don't have much family now.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that's it's terrible that those kids can't get the access that other kids do around the world there. That's
100.
it's amazing. It's amazing. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
100%. The same thing's happening in Venezuela now. There's a lot of great talent in Venezuela. I was talking. I don't know if you guys remember a kid that was drafted was the ACC Player of the Year, Gravies Vasquez. You guys,
Greedy Vasquez played in Maryland.
Gravies played at Maryland, and Gravies is in Venezuela, and of course that's a Communist Party as well. So Gravies has a couple kids that he wants to bring down here in our program. The only issue is that they can't go to the Venezuelan embassy, so they have to go to another embassy like Colombia and Argentina in order for them to come down here, because they just can't. Venezuela's now turned communist as well.
Right. Hmm.
Remember, Gerald, we was dealing with that kid from Venezuela.
Columbia.
What kid?
That was Columbia.
Oh, Colombia. Okay.
Yeah. He sent me. We was with the post grad when we came down there and played. Yo. You know, he was. I mean, we could have tried to help him or well like that, but knowing the stuff that I know right now, um, that would have been a waste of time because the guy that we was dealing with that he would it wasn't what it cracked up to be. But yeah, I still got his paperwork. I still got his paperwork he sent to me.
Yeah,
Uh,
really. The only way to get those guys down here, guys, is that you have to be at a school that provides I-20s.
yeah,
Provides I-20 in order for them to go to their embassy.
right, right.
You can't bring them down
Oh,
here.
right.
You got
What's
to get.
I know like two people that work for the Homeland Security, and then they've been basically saying that there's a lot of stuff that's going on that's been held up for the I-20s and stuff like that. So a lot of people now going to I-10s now. What you think about that?
Hmm.
Well, Well, listen, guys, I gotta go get ready and have dinner with the wife. I want to thank you all.
Thank you, Coach Alvarez.
Hey,
So I have a lot of respect for all you guys, what you guys have done for basketball and for kids, and I would love to continue, to have these type of conversations and get together in person. And if
oh
there's
yeah,
anything I can ever do for you guys, know that I'm here. And at the end of the day, we just got to continue to help these young kids that need our help. Uh,
uh-huh.
and
Yep.
we just continue to do God's work. But appreciate you guys having me on your show. I really do, and it's great to see you guys.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming on, Coach.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Coach
man.
Alvarez.
Appreciate you, fam. Take care,
Hey,
bro.
see you
Okay.
around the applause,
You
man.
too.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Coach.
Take care, coach.
All right, Coach.
Yes, sir. That was a good one.
But yeah, that was good, man. I mean, that's a good cap in the head, right? Cap, cap in the feather in the head.
Hey, while I was on, Mark hit me up,
Uh-huh.
but he said he couldn't do anything today. But he's interested in. He definitely, we got to get him the link and all that to get on. So we can get him on. Try to get him on whenever here in the next week or two.
Yeah, probably get. We'll be able to do Chuck next weekend. But, we made it
All
happen.
right.
We made it happen. Um, it wasn't a situation he don't want to do it, but I know this is Friday, Saturday football on and everything. Plus, he had to watch his Florida Gators, like our Seminoles with their ass whooped. So,
Try to get
he-
one going for Wednesday or Thursday this week.
yeah.
Have one in
But
the
he said
weekday.
Saturday. Days.
Most people home.
I asked him again. We get Coach Reese. We probably get Coach Reese on Wednesday. And,
Yeah, like between 7 and 9 p.m.
All right.
yeah, yeah. It really depends on y'all. You know what I'm saying? I
I,
mean,
I'm available.
okay.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good to go. I got. Let
I'm
me double
available. I'm
check. But
available Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday,
yeah.
Thursday. Okay. So we definitely gonna do those 2 days and Friday and Saturday. And then after that, then Sunday, I want to do something tomorrow just for football. So, is anything y'all want to talk about for is the? Hey, did y'all see the thing with Gilbert Arenas did? Where he
Oh, with his son?
talked about Rob Parker.
No.
No, I didn't see it.
Oh man, that was crazy. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these. Obviously, we not journalists, just people that has an opinion, and we ask questions that really matter, not just running our mouth trying to get a hot take, something like that. But Gilbert, Gilbert, he, he he definitely do a lot of talking, say a lot of outlandish things. But to his credit, he has a point on some of the stuff he be saying, and the point that he really made is like you got these reporters, right? They never played a sport in their life, but they talk about the sport. And for as what he said about Rob Parker, and basically the people that basically sending the message out to the reporters, how can you authentic how can you challenge the person that played the game that you never played? How can you have something? How can you be so critical like you played the game? You know, uh, it was really like the point that he made on that. I was like, that was on spot on, and he went off. He went off. I put it like that. So just when y'all get off this, look up Gilbert Arenas talking about Rob Parker and
Okay.
what's his name. Yeah, I mean he really made sense. He's like, well, how can you challenge me? How can you challenge the person that played the game on what they should do with the game or how they should play the game? But you ain't never played. That's that. That was crazy. I always kind of thought about that, especially with Stephen A. Smith. I mean, he had probably because he played on the basketball team. He pretty much like remember when what's his name went off on Skip Bayless?
Shannon Sharp,
No, no. What's his name went off and said
Stephen
uh
A.
no what his name? Jalen Rose called him Pistol Pete.
Oh, Jalen Rose, yeah.
So Pistol Water Water Pete Pistol. What's the Pistol Water Pete? But it's like I I just kind of just stopped watching Stephen A. Man. I mean, he just uh, but now I look at the show. What the show I've been looking at now is it is what it is. That's the show though. Man. But anything on y'all mind right now before we sail out before we sail on out of here? Oh shit, can't hear you, boy. You on mute? You on mute?
Yeah, I would say one thing that this upcoming NBA season is gonna be one of the best NBA seasons in a very long time. When you're dealing with Victor Wembanyama, well, as everybody call him Wemby, he's going into his second season on that Spurs team, and it's gonna be exciting to see on Wemby and on Chris Paul, seeing how Chris Paul take a great player and make him even better, or a second-year player and make him even elite. So it's going to be exciting to see the Spurs this year. It's going to be exciting to see the Rockets this year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's going to be exciting to see Minnesota take their next step. That's why, you know, teams like the Lakers, teams like Denver, they're going to be in for a dogfight. Like Dallas, they're going to be in for a dogfight. I don't see them teams beating those. I don't see Dallas, LA. I don't see them beating those teams. Yeah, watch out for New Orleans too.
Yep.
That backcourt of C.J. McCullough and what's the guard they got from Atlanta, Jonte Murray.
Sanjay Murray.
Watch out for that backcourt. And then they got Brandon Ingram, and if Zion had dropped like 30 pounds, so we want to see the new Zion.
He just has to stay healthy.
Yeah, I think it was his training regimen, his eating, his dietitian. They changed up his eating style. They got him a pretty good dietitian. He lost 30 pounds. I think he's gonna come in his camp more in shape. So you're gonna see that pretty much gonna because he had bad hamstring problems, probably due to his weight. So now that he's coming in on camp much slimmer, you can see the quickness, you can see the explosion. They kind of refine his game a little bit, so where he's not, going to the whole reckless and, taking the beating. Because that's a long season. That's 82 games. So I think Zion gonna turn some heads this year, and I think New Orleans they're gonna kind of creep up in that top 5 this year, top 5 in the West.
Look out for Orlando too now.
Yeah, Orlando with KCP, Caldwell Pope,
Yeah, man.
Paul George. You're gonna see New York. You're gonna see the Knicks. They're gonna take the next step. I like what they got. They got Bridges over there. OG Anunoby.
Yeah, we'll see what
They're
happens.
gonna be a little thin at the center position. They're gonna be a little bit thin at the center position. I like to see them because they lost Hartstein to OKC, so I like to see them pick up another backup center behind Mitchell, because Mitchell, he's injury prone. But with a healthy team, they should give Boston a good 6-7 game series.
True.
With the potential of winning the series. Because Thibs can flat out coach. You give him a team full of dogs. He gonna definitely make the adjustments.
That's
I think New York should at season end they should finish top three at worst if
mhm.
healthy all season. It should be top three.
All right, gentlemen. I got to sign off. All right.
All right, Brett.
All right. Good to see you guys.
All right, bro.
Good first couple episodes, Jay. We'll get the kinks out of things. We'll just keep pushing forward, man. You know,
Yeah,
we'll
get
get
a
it
little
together. We'll get it together, Kevin. You
All
know,
right.
so we get everybody on the. That we get once we get everybody on the like this week coming up. We'll just communicate amongst each other. And if Wednesday, Thursday is the days for everybody, it works out. Let's try it. We'll try to do it then. That's what I can say about that. You know. And in the meantime, we'll just keep pushing out the podcast to people we know.
Yeah, I'm editing your stuff. I'm gonna put out other stuff in the video. So,
Okay.
put some real, so I can report some real.
All right, fellas. Y'all have a good evening, man, and I'll holler at you. All right.
Okay, Brett.
All right,
Right.
guys.
Okay, Jay.
I would like for everyone to like and hit that notification button. We'll be back with another podcast presentation tomorrow. I will put in the time and the date. I'll put in the actual StreamYard so you can click it in, the code, the link, and we go from there. Everybody have a good night.